All right, so I'm still waiting for Friday, so I'm gonna enjoy some more content of Spark and Zero. I didn't get the Ultimate Edition. I said that before. The other Spark and Zero video I did, but yeah, since I didn't get the Ultimate Edition, I ain't able to play it early. So I'm waiting for Friday, which is all good. I want the physical copy, so I gotta wait. No problem. I can wait 3 days. But as I'm waiting, I'm gonna see more of information of this game. Last video I did, I reacted to 142 ultimate attacks, which you can go check that out. That was pretty cool. Top of the line. Shout out to Bandai Namco. They really put time into this game. And the funniest part is, it was 142 alts, and that wasn't even all the alts in the game. There was still other characters that wasn't even shown. And I like that. They put a lot of time and effort into it. You can go check that out. But shout out to GamerX. They have Before You Buy. So honestly, I don't see anything negative coming from this video. Sometimes the Before You Buys can be, don't get it because it has this. It's not a good thing. I don't see them doing it in this video. I'm not saying this channel does that, but there's other ones that have Before You Buys, and usually it's because half of it is some bad stuff and half of it's not. With this game, I don't see anything negative. I haven't heard anything negative of this game since the Ultimate Edition has come out. Haven't heard anything negative about it. No, and I know I'm a Dragon Ball fan, but I'm not one of those fans that do this. I'm going to listen and pay attention, and if there's something negative, one, I'm going to take it to the fact that that's their opinion, but two, it makes me think, okay, am I going to like it? So anyway, let's see this Before You Buy. Maybe they have something that I don't know about that I'm not going to like, but personally, I see nothing but positivity in this video. I'll put the original video in the description below.
Welcome back to another episode of Before You Buy, the show where we give you some straight-up gameplay and our first impressions of the latest games releasing. Hi, folks, it's Falcon, and today, I never thought it would happen. Seriously,
Yeah.
It's been like 17 years, but there is finally a new Budokai Tenkaichi. For a lot of us, these were the definitive Dragon Ball games for years and years. Yeah, Fighters is great, but it's a 2D team-based fighting game that it's not quite Dragon Ball.
It's not Budokai.
Budokai Tenkaichi is. And that's why,
Still a great game,
all
but
this
yeah, not
time later,
Budokai.
there's still a dedicated fan base who are dying for some kind of return for this series. It's just that nobody expected it to happen. So sitting here and actually
Rest in
playing
peace to
Spark
my
and
cousin.
Zero
I wish
is
he was
kind of
alive to
mind-boggling
see this. He's
experience.
the one who
It's
introduced
like
me to
back
Dragon
in
Ball and to
2007,
Budokai.
no time has passed.
He passed
Obviously,
away.
it is a better looking game. Mechanically, they've made some improvements and refinements, but for the most part, this is Tenkaichi 4. It feels like a game from a bygone era, which is a really
There's my
good
main
thing,
Turles.
and
I'm be
also
using him
in
and Goku
a
Black.
weird way, a little disappointing, but only just a tiny little bit. For the most part, I'm kind of just like...
Wait, disappointed. I heard disappointment
Obviously, it
as
is
I
a
was
better
talking.
looking game. Mechanically, they've made some improvements and refinements, but for the most part, this is Tenkaichi 4. It feels like a game from a bygone era, which is a really good thing, and also in a weird way, a little disappointing, but only just a tiny little bit. For the most part, I'm kind of just like, yeah, thanks. So let's get into it. If you never played one of these games before, I don't blame you. They're incredibly old, and if they're incredibly old, I am ancient because they are not of my childhood. That said, I played the hell out of them. The closest comparison I can make is they're kind of like an arena fighter. You have a full 3D range of movement, large arenas to fight in, and the core fighting systems are more about style and substance.
Oh, I
Everyone
will
has the
say
same
this, because I've
input
seen there in training mode. There's some people, did hear some complaints. Some people have rage quit and said the game is trash. They played online and then leave because they're getting their butt kicked. But then you realize they didn't go in training mode. Guys, go to training mode. Take an hour, 30 minutes, 2 hours, whatever. Go to train. There's nothing wrong with that. You can't complain about a game if you don't know the mechanics. Now, if you just want to dive in and just learn on the fly, that's fine. But those kind of players not going to complain and rage quit. There's a lot. There was people was posted on Twitter, other social media outlets. They're like, "Yo, people are rage quitting already. They paid $100 to rage quit because they keep losing because they don't know the mechanics. You gotta go to training mode. That goes for any fighting game. This was a little different than like Street Fighter and them, but still, the rules still apply. Gotta go to training mode. You get your butt kicked because the person you're facing with the training mode. So yeah, just a little pointer there.
Controls are basically the same, but their special moves are different, and they
Take
all
the time
tend
to
have
practice.
a few variations on attacks. And that's basically the thing that makes them unique. What makes the game different from the many mediocre anime arena fighters out there is the combat. It's really fast. Everyone's teleporting all over the place. rocketing through the air, deflecting, countering. It looks like absolute madness when you're watching it, but when you're playing, it's one of those things
That's
that
cool.
just clicks. It is designed to suck you right in, plugs right into your brain, and you're suddenly Mac from Always Sunny making karate moves and swishing sounds and stuff. This crap goes deep inside you. That sounded horrible. I didn't mean that. I meant it's intuitive and feels good. Okay, that sounded bad too. I'm not doing this on. I'm just gonna move past. I'm moving past it. And maybe I was exaggerating a little. It might take you a little while, but I don't know. It's not a long time. This is one of those games you're gonna get. Other important thing about these games, they had a lot of playable characters. And Sparking Zero has by far the best representation out of all of them.
Yeah.
This may be the
It
biggest
looks like it,
roster
too.
in a fighting game ever. There are, and I'm not joking, more than 180 fighters
Lot
in
of
the base
characters.
game. Pretty much every major character from the start of Dragon Ball Z to the Tournament of Power arc in Dragon Ball Super is here, along with a bunch of minor characters too. They've got guys
was
from
saying,
Dragon
Frieza
Ball GT.
Force, that's when you know they
most
got a
of
lot
the
of
bad
characters,
guys
when you
from
got
the
someone from
movies,
the Frieza
including
Force
both
in there.
versions of Broly. There's all the classic villains and heroes in pretty much all of their various forms. It is a stacked roster. Sure, a significant chunk of the cast is different variations of Goku, but it's not all just repeats. There's a lot of fun additions and deep cut characters here. I can't complain about the roster size at all. And what makes it even better is the game includes the ability to transform and do a fusion dance in battle, just like the old games. It's one of those unnecessary things that probably makes the game unbalanced, but it's just so cool. Who cares? This game is about fan service more than competitive balance. But that doesn't mean it's mechanically light. It does actually.
Yeah, don't take the game too seriously. Yes, nothing wrong being competitive. I'm a competitive person. But this is, like he just said, this is more about fan service. I think it'll be a cool idea, but I don't see this ever being like an Evo competitive scene where people are sweating. It would be cool because I would join something like that. I mean, I got to practice play. I haven't played a Budokai game in forever, but I would do something like that at the same time. But my point is, this game is meant to have fun. I did learn that the rumors are true that certain characters, their health is way lower than certain other ones. Like, for example, someone told me Hercule and Videl, and even like Master Roshi, or even him, the Frieza Force character. You use them, you can die quicker than facing Vegito. You really have to learn to maneuver, dodge, and all that because your health is much shorter than Vegito's. Now, that's from somebody that played. They told me that, so I haven't played it yet, so I can't fully confirm it. But someone who actually played it told me. So that's stuff like that shows that it's gonna be some things that's gonna be unbalanced. Like you could be Nappa, for example, facing Grade 8 Vegeta. It's gonna look weird. It's gonna look unfair, but it's just more of the fun of it. Like, wow, I'm facing another player using Grade 8 Vegeta, and you can still win. It might be harder, but everybody's not gonna be balanced out. I don't seriously doubt it. And then hearing about from I'm stuttering. And then hearing from the person that's actually playing it that, yeah, if you choose Frieza Force, Videl, or something like that, you're much weaker. It confirms. But it's all good. To be real, that would be pretty balls of you if you use somebody of weak caliber and beating the high tier characters. As long as the player is high tier, because you could face someone as a high tier character, but the player using it is a rookie, so that's nothing to toot your horn about. I'm talking about someone who's actually playing is really good. That would be really cool. That's a nice challenge. Maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll use like Master Roshi or something and beat down Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. I don't know. But just to let you know, it wasn't
really
made
just
to be
nothing else
balanced.
like it on the market. Some recent Dragon Ball games have attempted to ape this style a bit, like Xenoverse and the Kakarot game. But those are more like action RPGs. The combat's simpler and it's not nearly as intense as what we've got here. There was some concern Sparking Zero would dumb everything down and make it less intimidating for newcomers. Doesn't do that. There's a lot of mechanics going on here, and it takes a while for everything to click. I basically knew what I was getting into going in, and I was still getting my butt kicked on the regular. It's just such a different combat system from
Yeah, I'm
every
prepared my
other
mind
game.
to get my butt
Obviously
kicked.
not the
I'm
other
looking to win,
Tenkaichi
but I'm
games,
having
but
fun first off.
Every other game. So it took a little while for the
Oh,
muscle
that's
memory
cool.
to kick in, and it did. I would suspect that for newcomers it might take a little longer. That was why I said that earlier. But hey, the game starts with a short tutorial that gives you the absolute basics. but that's not going to be enough.
That's
to
like a
jump
perfect
into the rest
parry.
of the
That's
game
pretty
on
cool.
mobile.
I never
My
seen that.
recommendation is to hit the advanced tutorials right away. Otherwise, the first few hours of playing Sparking Zero are going to be miserable. Of course, you
Yeah.
can just turn down
I'm playing the
difficulty,
story
but the
mode,
game doesn't
and
want you to
while
do
y'all
that,
watch
and
that, I'll be
there's
in the
reasons why you don't
practice
want
gym.
to. So your best bet's to just knuckle down and go through the tutorials. They're not the best, but they give you a decent overview of how everything works. If I am completely 100% honest about it, playing the game is going to teach you more, but you're still going to want to go through these tutorials. Like I
Yes,
said, the
please
game
do
is
it so
kind
y'all
of
don't be rage
intuitive
quitting.
and burrows into your
Like,
brain.
we're gonna be having fun
but
playing
you
some
may
Dragon
want a
Ball.
primer.
People are rage
It does
quitting
give you a
already.
basis to work from, and that is better than nothing. You might think that the main game mode, episode battles, would be a good way to learn the game through playing, and depending on how your brain works, it's not. It throws you in the deep end. Minute one, it's very difficult on normal if you're just starting out. I wasn't just starting out. Like, I know how these games work, and I was getting schooled by Raditz. It was pretty embarrassing. Basically, how it works is you have 6 different character stories you can follow that recap the events of Dragon Ball from their perspective. But sometimes you're given an option to do something different, which can put you on a different path that leads to different fights and possibly different rewards. A lot of these branches come from winning battles that, well, to be frank, your character canonically lost, and completing them can be a challenge, to put it mildly. Turning down the difficulty will not help on these either, because if you do that, you can't complete secondary objectives, so the whole unique gimmick of the mode is locked out. It's a fun mode, but man is it unforgiving at times. There are fights where you gotta take like 4 guys in a row on a single health bar. The nature of this game is that things either swing wildly in your favor or they can go very badly very fast. So long marathon battles like this can be especially rough. In comparison, the other main game mode of the game, custom battles, is quite a lot more forgiving actually. It's honestly the most fun I had in the game, just playing through all the goofy bonus battles they include in the game as examples for the player to make custom fights with. The central part of this mode is you can make your own dramatic battles with dialogue and special objectives. They let you create any matchup you want as long as you're personally able to finish the fight. So if you've ever wanted to, I don't know, have Babidi take on Ginyu Force, you can do that. It's a fun idea, and I like the game has a built-in viewer so you can connect online and see what other players are doing, but the execution does feel a little thin, to be fair. Just a little too limited with the customization. There's only so many special objectives and events you can insert into a single fight. And here's the biggest issue. You can't write your own dialogue or title. The game just gives you a bunch of stock phrases to choose from and some keywords
That's
to
not a big deal to
insert,
me.
and it can be awkward and a little nonsensical. Don't get me wrong. There is a certain type of person who will find it the funniest damn thing in the world. You're listening to him talk right now. But I don't think that's going to be for everybody. To be fair, a lot of the built-in scenarios have dialogue that barely makes any sense. The whole system probably works better in Japanese, but hey, guess what? I am not Japanese. And the people who wrote this dialogue are definitely not English. Personally, I like putting dialogue together that just, it really makes no sense at all. I think that's hilarious, actually. But I would also like to be able to, like, do it right. It's just not there. But to be fair, they're still pretty damn fun. I like the game gives you an excuse to use the entire roster rather than the few main characters. There's some legit clever missions that help learn how certain guys play. Like one where you're Captain Ginyu, you got to swap bodies with your opponent to win. Or this other one where you're one of those stupid little Sabaymen, and you have to self-destruct to take out the much stronger team. The actual creative features are a little lacking, but there's so many built-in bonus fights already that the game has enough to keep me busy. Like I said, it's maybe a little bit too limited, but that's not enough to make it not fun. It's not even really enough to make it not great. It's still great. Before we get into anything else,
I want to use Yamcha just for Budokai memories.
The visuals are. They are not
First
quite
Budokai, bro.
as
Yamcha
good as
was
fighters,
the man.
and that game is built to be viewed at very specific angles, so it's kind of how and why. Those visuals are not really possible to replicate here, but still,
What
everybody
was
on
I always
model and
wondered
anime.
this. Maybe I didn't watch no like actual people playing it that explained it. But you see, Jace right there, right? What does the number under him mean? Or Goku? Like Jace has 2 and Goku has 1. Is that the levels for your alts? I always wondered that.
Accurate. Anytime you pull off a big ultimate,
Oh, here we
attack,
go.
that's
I
where
can
when
see if the number
auto
drops.
stops. That's when the animation's fantastic.
Oh, no,
and
so-
the destruction that can be wrought on these stages, it's good. It's so good. The
I don't know,
arenas
let me
give
know in
this
the
game
comments.
so much freaking character, especially the city ones where you can just smash everything in sight. I love the little detail when you use a super attack in a stadium and the game stops and the spectators clear out. They're not all just little flat
I
boxes.
saw that. That
There's
was
even
pretty cool.
Terrain, you can fly up in the air, battle it out on the water. They're just way more dynamic and interesting compared to your standard fighting game arenas. Not everything looks as good as the stuff that looks really good. Most in-game dialogue is delivered by, ventriloquist dummy versions of the characters, blank-faced and flapping their mouths like a Muppet. But when you have a roster this big, there's some stuff you just have to expect isn't going to be the best ever, despite being very good. Sparking Zero is not the best-looking Dragon Ball game, but it's way above average. The presentation is super solid.
It
Special
really is
shout
not
out
the
to
best.
menus.
I think it's
They're
between
packed
this
with
and
little
Fighter
details
Z.
and funny little
Because Fighter
animations.
Z was
I
top
just wish
2.
some of the background characters would shut up after a while. When you're in the shop, do we really need to hear Bulma repeat the same 3 stock lines every 5 seconds? I'm not exaggerating either. It's seriously that fast, and often you're getting the same line over and over again. They can't cool it with the background dialogue. Other than that, menus are A+. Okay, so episodes and custom battle are what we've covered. There's also regular battle options. You can go online or offline and play against AI opponents. Online is pretty bare bones. There's no rollbacks. Your opponent better have a good ping, otherwise it's going to get ugly. I only got online for a little bit to check it out. I really don't see this game being all that fun to play competitively. Like, it's intentionally unbalanced. The guys who suck in the anime suck in the game. Goku's the strongest. That's how it is. Is everyone going to play Goku versus Goku? Is that how you do this competitively online? I don't know. I'm clueless
No, or you
here.
can just
I don't
learn
know.
other
Maybe there is
characters,
something
and
there.
even though
But
Goku may
that's
be the
not for me
strongest,
to
if you're a
say yes
beast,
or no to.
it's not going to
the
bother
kind of
you.
game where casual play sounds a lot more fun to me. So I'm pretty glad the game is unranked. But I haven't played the multiplayer enough to really cast judgment on it. I will judge the split screen.
I'm playing the
mode, though. It's
multiplayer.
not good. I'm glad the game at least includes a split screen option because it is a fighting game after all, but it's disappointing. For whatever reason, they made it so you can only play one stage offline, the hyperbolic time chamber.
Yeah, I
Another one
heard
that's
about
just an
that.
empty
Maybe they'll
white void,
update
so
that and give you more.
can play with your friends, but it's the most boring.
But it's cool because if you have friends over, you just want to have like a wager or just a fun 1v1.
But come on, the game.
You know, the
isn't
map
like
ain't gonna
photo
matter
real
much.
or anything. It's legitimately the most disappointing thing about the game. The mode is fun though. Not gonna lie, tournaments are another staple of the series. They've done well here. There are a bunch of pre-made tournaments you can jump to either online or offline, along with custom-built ones you can make yourself. My favorite of the pre-made tournaments is the Yamcha games, where all the biggest chump characters compete to take on everyone's favorite loser. All the major tournaments from the series they're recreated here. They're a fun diversion, and you get some decent rewards for completing them, so I think they're pretty damn worthwhile. I mentioned the store earlier, but don't worry, it's not in-game microtransactions. Before release, I was a little worried how annoying the game would be with unlocking stuff, because all the pre-order bonuses were things like early unlocks and crap like that, but it's not a problem. The game throws Zenny, the in-game currency, at you hand over fist for doing everything, and there's multiple ways to unlock characters.
Well, that's
a
good.
big chunk of the cast is locked at the start of the game, but you get them for playing through the episodes, doing special bonus fights.
That's why I'm
and
playing the
tournaments.
episodes first.
Or
I
you
want
can
all
just
the
straight
characters,
up
'cause
buy
I don't
them in
know
the
if-
store when you get that sweet Zenny. Anything.
Because I don't know if Turles and Goku Black gonna be open
cast
right
is
on
locked at
start,
the
so I
of
want to
the
make
game.
sure I
But
get
you
them.
them
Those
for
are my
playing through
two
the
I'm looking
episodes,
forward to
doing
using
special
first.
bonus fights or completing tournaments, or you can just straight up buy them in the store when you get that sweet Zenny. Anything you already have, you can get currency to make up for it, so there's no punishment for buying a character before you unlock them, for instance. The entire unlock system is rewardingly old school, but also a little more forgiving. There are a few characters that you only get by summoning Super Shenron, which is another returning feature from the old
Who's these
games
characters,
that
though?
involves completing challenges to earn Dragon Balls.
It
But
ain't Goku
that's
Black
the
or
worst
Turles,
that
is
gets
it?
Unlockables is really fine.
If that's the case, I gotta figure out how to get the
Like,
Dragon Ball.
When you think about what unlockables are like now, holy hell, this is absolutely the best game with unlockables in a long time. There's also a kind of power-up system where you can buy items to power up characters. Stuff like this makes me wary about playing online. The game's already unbalanced, and this stuff makes it
wasn't
even
meant
worse.
to
But remember,
be
this
balanced,
is
though,
first
so
impressions, folks.
I'm going
I don't
into
pretend
that,
I know how good
and I think
or
if
bad
people
this
go
game
into
is
that
played
up front,
competitively, or
you know, I think their mindset would be better. And it gives much more of a challenge because if another person has a higher tier character, leveled up, whatever the case may be, if I win, it feels more successful. So, you know, it doesn't bother me that there's
For
not
that,
balance
I will never be
online.
good enough to do so. I certainly haven't.
I'm
had
playing
enough
online
time with it to
regardless.
make a judgment.
And I'm gonna
But
use
if
who
we're
I
just
want to
talking
use.
about
I ain't gonna use a
single-player
character
options,
because it's
then Dragon
meta
Ball
or the
Sparking
best
Zero is an
one.
absolute blast to play. I said there's some minor disappointments. The biggest of them is the split screen mode not being that great, but so what? If that were the worst thing about, like every game nowadays, like I would say gaming.
Yeah, because I don't think that split screen feature is a bad thing. I mean,
this game does
one
what it
map,
does.
whatever,
And
but
man, oh man, does it do it well.
it's
There's
all
really
good.
nothing
If that's
else
the
quite
worst
like this
thing
game out
about
there.
the game,
It's got the
you're
most
in good hands.
spectacular, high-flying battles of any 1v1 fighter, period. No questions. There's no competition for what this does because I don't know if it's compatible with something that's not Dragon Ball. It does take some practice to get the hang of, but once you get there, it's wow. One of those games just feels really good. Give it an hour or two if you don't immediately click with it. It might be a little frustrating, but I promise, stick with it. It's very
Go
worth
to
it.
training
It's
mode.
So much fun. It's the ultimate smash your toys together game. And if you have any fondness for Dragon Ball at all, you're probably going to like this game. Seriously. It's honestly just so good to play and be able to talk about this game. I love it. It's.
I want to see the
I'm
story
so
changes.
excited
That's why I want to see
that
what changes in
series
this.
is
That's why
back.
I want to play
But
it
that's
offline
me.
first.
How about you? Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. If you like this.
All right, shout out to GamerX. I'll put the original video in the description below, but I'm excited. I'm excited. Counting down. Friday. What's today? Wednesday. Friday's going to be a busy day because I'm going to see Terrorizer 3, which is my first ever Terrorizer movie. I've never seen them before. Actually, you can, I have a video posted where I said I've never seen a Terrorizer. I don't know what the hype about this character is about. So I'm going to get my first experience Friday, and this game's coming out. And I'm in the middle of playing Diablo 4 to the DLC. Busy week, but in a fun way. I'll take it. All right, well, I'll talk to y'all later. See ya.